Have you ever really stopped to think about what's powering your every single move? From running a marathon to just the simple act of breathing? It all comes down to this one incredible biological machine, the muscular system. So today, we're going to pop the hood and take a look at the engine that drives pretty much everything we do. All right, let's just start with a number. How many muscles do you think you have? A couple dozen? Maybe 100? Well, the answer is kind of staggering, actually. The adult human body has over 600 muscles, all working together in this perfectly coordinated symphony.
Okay, so what do all of these muscles actually do? We're about to look at the main jobs your muscular system is doing 24/7, a lot of the time without you even realizing it.
Right, so the jobs our muscles do are incredibly diverse. Mobility is the obvious one, right? Walking, jumping, lifting things, but they do so much more than that. Your muscles are providing stability by literally holding your joints together. They maintain your posture. They even help pump your blood and move food through your body. And get this, they actually generate heat. About 75% of the energy a muscle uses is released as heat, which is a huge part of how we stay warm.
Now, not all of these 600-plus muscles are the same. Not at all. They're actually part of a team made up of 3 very distinct types, and each one has a super specific job. So, let's meet them.
First things first, we need to get our heads around a really crucial difference in how muscles are controlled. Some are voluntary, which just means you decide to move them, like when you decide to wave hello. Others are involuntary. They are completely on autopilot. You don't have to think about them for them to work, which, let's be honest, is a very, very good thing.
And that brings us to our 3 main types. First up, you've got skeletal muscles. These are the voluntary ones, the ones attached to your bones that let you move around. Then there's cardiac muscle. This one is only found in your heart, and thank goodness it's involuntary, it just pumps blood all day long. And finally, you have smooth muscle. This is also involuntary, and it lines your internal organs, like your stomach and your blood vessels, handling all the background stuff like digestion and blood pressure without you ever giving it a second thought.
Okay, so we've seen the big picture. Now we're going to zoom in, way in, to see what a single one of those skeletal muscles is actually made of.
It's definitely not just one single piece of tissue. It's this incredibly organized structure with layers upon layers upon layers of smaller parts, and every single one has a vital role to play.
So let's start peeling back these layers. An entire muscle is really a bundle of bundles. These big bundles are called fascicles. You can kind of think of it like a thick rope that's made of many smaller ropes all woven together. And each of those smaller ropes is a bundle of individual muscle fibers, which are the actual muscle cells.
But we can go deeper. If you zoom in on just one of those muscle fibers, you'll see it's packed with even smaller strands. These are called myofibrils. Now, these are the real engines inside the cell. This is where the magic of movement actually happens.
And our final zoom takes us all the way down to the sarcomere. The myofibrils are made of these little repeating segments, all lined up end to end. The sarcomere is the most basic, fundamental unit of a muscle. If you can understand how this tiny little structure works, you can understand all muscle movement. It's that important. So how does a sarcomere actually work? Well, it all comes down to a process with a really cool name, the sliding filament theory. This is basically the molecular explanation for how your muscles shorten and create force.
Okay, so each sarcomere is filled with 2 kinds of protein filaments. You've got thin ones, called actin, and thick ones, called myosin. A muscle contraction is, at its core, just these 2 filaments sliding past one another, which pulls the ends of the sarcomere closer together.
This molecular dance can be broken down into 4 key steps. First, a signal from your nervous system zips in and tells the muscle to release calcium. That calcium then allows the heads on the thick myosin filaments to reach out and grab onto the thin actin filaments. Next up is the power stroke. The myosin heads literally pull the actin inward. And finally, a tiny energy molecule called ATP comes in and allows the myosin head to let go, reset, and grab on again, just a little further down the line.
And you can see that cycle happening right here. It's this continuous loop of grabbing, pulling, and releasing happening in millions of sarcomeres all at once that causes the entire muscle to shorten or, contract.
I love this analogy for it. Just think of the myosin heads like they're tiny oars, and the actin filament is the water. The oars grab the water, pull the boat forward, they lift out, and then they grab the water again to keep the boat moving. It's pretty much the same principle, just happening on a microscopic scale.
And here is a wild fact about that energy molecule ATP.
You don't just need it to power the pulling part of the contraction. It's also absolutely essential for the myosin heads to let go of the actin. If you didn't have ATP, your muscles would contract and then just get stuck there. So yeah, relaxation is an active process that needs energy too.
Okay, we've gone from the whole system down to the molecular level. Now let's zoom back out and see how different muscles cooperate with each other to produce those smooth, controlled movements we make every day.
For any given movement, there's always one main muscle that's doing most of the work. We call this the agonist, or the prime mover. It's basically the star of the show for that specific action.
But the agonist doesn't work alone. It has a partner, and that partner is called the antagonist. This muscle does the opposite action. While the agonist contracts, the antagonist relaxes, and that provides control and stability. It's also the muscle that helps move the joint back to where it started.
The perfect example is flexing your arm. To bend your elbow, your biceps muscle is the agonist. It contracts and it pulls your forearm up. At the exact same time, its partner, the triceps, acts as the antagonist. It relaxes and lengthens, which allows that movement to happen smoothly. And then when you want to straighten your arm, the roles just flip.
So from the huge job of just holding you upright, all the way down to that microscopic dance between actin and myosin, the muscular system is just a masterpiece of biological engineering. So maybe the next time you take a step or pick something up, you'll think about the incredible teamwork and the millions, literally millions of tiny engines inside you that are all firing in perfect unison just to make that simple action possible.